All right, I'm here. What? I'm gonna just talk with my buddy here, Keith. I'm here with my son also, who's taking some video for Keith, just so Keith knows that we're taking video. It's proof. So, guys, look, I already say I'm not super into rehabbing, but this guy is, and he kind of looks like me. He looks like my brother, but with way more muscles.
Another mother, no
Yeah,
hair.
yeah, that's how we roll.
Yeah.
So, I want to have him kind of give you a little tip if you really want to get into rehabbing first. But before we talk about that, let's keep it real with these people, okay? When people come and they start talking about getting into real estate investing, like, first of all, how do you even find this deal? Tell us about that.
Well, the biggest resource that I have for finding deals is my network of people.
Right.
That's huge. A lot of people will market for deals, which is a great way too. Postcards, door knocking, yellow letters.
You don't look too excited about those in
well,
your face.
I mean, they all work. Just they're a lot of work,
Okay.
I'm a people person, so I like to go to networking meetings. I like to go to REIA meetings. I like to, go to any place that has realtors, investors,
Okay.
anybody that might have any sort of connection to any kind of real estate deal or possible opportunity.
And that's what you
And
do.
just tell them what I do and tell them what I look for, and then they call me out of the blue. They call me, they text me, and hey, I got a house. I think you'll like it.
Yeah.
People know what I look for.
Yeah.
And my reputation precedes me, so that helps, and I say that very humbly. So this particular deal is funny because the guy who I bought it from, he texted me out of the blue and said, "Hey man, what architectural style is this house?" And I have an architecture background. I went to school for architectural design, University of Florida, and so of course I know what the architectural style is.
Yeah.
He didn't know that I've been eyeballing this house for the last year because I drive up and down the street all the time, and I've seen it boarded up, and it's very close to Armature Works, beautiful brick house. It just had my name on it.
Right.
So I believe personally that the universe put me in the exact position to buy this house through my network and through my intention of always, every time I drive by this house, I'd be like, oh man, that's a beautiful property. I would love to rehab that property. Lo and behold, he texted me out of the blue, "Hey man, what kind of architecture is this style is this house?" I said, "Oh, it's blah, 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 whatever it was." And of course, my next question is, why? Can I buy it? And he's like, yeah, I think you can. And that's basically how it happened. It was that quick and that easy via text.
Right. So was it like a wholesaler, the seller?
Yeah, it was a wholesaler.
Okay. So you get your deal from wholesalers.
Yeah.
Okay. And that works for you. That's your basic model.
Right.
But one thing I do know about you is you've also been around and actually hosted REIAs and have a lot of people have come to you and you built a name because they know you as Mr. Seminole Heights or Mr. Tampa Heights.
Yeah.
They know you
Yeah.
in certain areas. Now, what is it, in your opinion, what do you see most new investors, what do you see them fail at as far as getting started? Like, why do you think most investors fail?
Fear.
Yeah?
Probably the biggest one. I mean, either you don't know what you're doing, so you don't do anything. Right?
Right?
You're terrified to do that first deal because you don't want to lose your butt, you don't want to lose your ass. But then even you get into it, I would say the biggest thing is not really knowing what you're getting into. So say you get over the fear and you buy the house.
Yeah.
And you get into it and there's electrical problems you didn't anticipate, there's plumbing problems you didn't anticipate, there's structural issues, there's roof issues. I mean, when you look around, you got walls, floor, roof, ceiling, all the components that go into making a house. Any of these could be bad or have problems or have issues that you may not see if it's behind a wall, it's covered up, and you don't necessarily see it until you're into the construction and you're into the project and you realize, oh crap, I didn't anticipate this or that, the other thing.
Yeah.
So you always got to make sure your margins are good, make sure you have a contingency on your budget, so if you get an estimate done, especially the older the house. I kind of specialize in these older bungalows, these craftsman homes. I love them, the 1920s frame houses, brick houses, and even the 1950s mid-century modern homes. I just love the style, I love the architecture. There's a lot you can work with. There's a lot of opportunity to capitalize on the house's existing character.
Sure. So let me ask you this, like, what would you say is like a quick tip you could tell somebody? Look, I preach to people, like, get in where you fit in, right? If you got a construction background, then maybe you should go into flipping. But if you don't, and you don't have anyone on your team that has that expertise, then maybe you should start somewhere different. But for those people that probably won't listen to us anyway, or listen to me, give them a little tip that might save them a few $1,000s. You know, like give them a tip about how to like find out. I don't know, maybe what's a load bearing wall.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
how do you determine that?
So houses are there's two ways houses are built. And if you understand the simple structure of a house, it's not complicated.
Yeah.
If you have a block house, a house has 4 walls and a roof and a floor, right?
Right.
Some floors are off the ground, meaning there's a crawl space underneath, which makes it easy for repairs and getting plumbing and wiring electrical underneath, which is nice. If you have a slab on grade type of house, which the concrete's on the dirt, then if you're gonna do any changes that require anything to be going underneath the house, so to speak,
Right.
you're gonna have to cut the concrete, which is not an impossible process, but it's a little more dirty, a little bit more invasive.
Yeah, but you're like high level. You've been doing this forever. You've done hundreds of projects, and people know your projects around town. Like if I was walking in off the street new, how would I know like this wall here? How the hell would I know if that's one I could take out versus not?
So, for instance, so houses are built in 2 directions. You have the long direction and the short direction.
Okay.
Usually front to back is the long direction,
Right.
and then side to side is the narrow direction.
Okay.
So when you think structurally, just the concept, you're not going to be a rocket scientist to understand this, but if you have a member, any kind of wood beam or truss or whatever that's spanning 2 points, you want that member to span the long length or the short length? The answer is a short length.
Short
right?
length, right?
So in this house, for instance, it's probably 30, let's see, we got a 50-foot lot, minus 7-foot setbacks either side. So this house is probably 36 feet wide on
Okay.
average.
Right.
I don't know if I'm guessing, more or less. So the trusses are going to span the short direction, 36 feet this way.
Okay.
And the depth of the house is probably 100 minus 20, 40, it's probably 60 feet deep. Usually they're not going to go the long way. If they do, you might have a corner where there's like a little hip roof or a corner or a situation that's specific to the design. So this wall right here is the wall between the kitchen and the dining room. And I want to take it out. But if I didn't know what I was doing, you know, I may mess up and take down the wrong wall, and take down the wrong wall, and the roof won't cave in. It could cave in, but usually what will happen if you take down, since there's so many walls in the house holding everything up, what could happen is your roof will sag. That's the most common thing.
Okay.
It's rare that the whole roof falls on your head or the ceiling falls on your head,
Yeah.
but it's common that the ceiling will sag and you have to reinforce it.
So this wall here, because the trusses are running, you know, in line with that wall.
Yeah, the basic trusses are running in the same direction as this wall.
Yeah. So you're saying, hey, that one's safe to take because of that little tip you just gave, the narrow versus the long.
Right.
All right. So you heard it here, man.
Yeah.
Look, you just saved yourself. If you're a flipper and you're like, hey, or you're getting into the business wannabe flipper, and you're saying I could do it HGTV, or here's an HGTV tip that you didn't get that you just got from Keith to save you a saggy wall, because saggy anything is not
Saggy
good.
ceiling.
Yeah, saggy anything.
Saggy
Keith,
roofs
ain't-
fall on your head. You
ain't
don't even
good.
fall on your head.
No, no one likes sags. All right, so hey man, yeah, thanks for that little tip for everybody. And hey guys, if you like more stuff from Keith, like I'm putting out here, he's the guy. He's one of my favorites to hang out with. He's a good guy. He's a good friend. And if you want more information about rehabbing, drop a comment below, and I'll get you some more information and content from him about rehabbing. I'm not a guy that pretends. And I've sold you some deals too, huh?
Yeah, I bought some deals from
Oh, okay.
Foxy.
All right, so I sold him some deals, so
Foxy gets good deals.
I do.
Yes, he does.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to do any of this stuff. I just want to sell them to you and make my money fast and get the hell out.
Right.
So
I'm crazy.
So I can hang out with this guy.
Yes, sir.
And
Hang out,
sir.
sir.
Right on. All right. Thanks, Keith, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Peace, brother.
All right. Right on. All right. Bye for now, everybody.